Well, Southern Manitoba theater fans will be treated to a Canadian premiere over the next couple of weeks. Audiences in Steinbach and Morden will have a chance to see Mr. and Mrs. Nobody by Keith Waterhouse, performed by Steinbach's Looking Glass Theatre. The comedy takes place in Victorian-era England and has received rave reviews for performances on Broadway and in London's West End. I'm joined this morning by the director of Mr. and Mrs. Nobody, Laura Turner. Good morning to you, Laura.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, we're also joined by the two stars of Mr. and Mrs. Nobody, Chris Friesen and Esther Koepnick, playing married couple Charles and Carrie Pooter.
Hello.
Good morning, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. So maybe I will start with you, Laura, without giving too much away for our listeners. What is Mr. and Mrs. Nobody about?
Mr. and Mrs. Nobody is a delightful British comedy. So if you enjoy aridly dry British humor, it's for you. Without giving too much away, it is about the very lovable yet vanity-stricken Charles and Carrie Pooter and their social trials and triumphs as they navigate life in their new home.
Okay, moving into a new home together and navigating the vanities, the finer things of life. Maybe I'll go to you next, Esther. What was your reaction when you first read through this play?
Ooh, there's a little bit of a twist ending, and it's not revealed to the very last page of the script. And so I thought I knew where the show was going, and then I hit the very last page, and I was like, oh my gosh. So yes, it's a very fun scene to play. And so I have a whole lot of fun with that twist.
Chris, maybe we can go to you for this next question, which is wondering how everything is coming together and what you think audiences will take away from seeing Mr. and Mrs. Nobody in Steinbach and in Morden.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming along great. It's been tons of fun to rehearse. I think like what I hope people will come away with is, I mean, a lot of laughter, but also, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of warmth in the show. Just to come away with, feeling Charles and Carrie's unique relationship.
It's very charming. Yeah, I think audiences will be quite charmed by them.
I like it. Charming. Not often a description you get for the theater, so that is a delightful way to look at this. Chris and Esther, in addition to playing a married couple on stage, you two are, actually married in real life, I understand. What's it like to work together on stage as a couple? Maybe I'll pick Esther to take this one first.
Yeah, this isn't actually our first foray into acting together. We got to play Perchik and Hoddle a few years ago in a production of Fiddler on the Roof, and that was so much fun. I mean, we met at acting school, and so we do have a shared passion for this. But yeah, Chris is just a wonderful scene partner, and I think just the trust and love that we have in our marriage makes it frees us up to be able to take some risks and play around on stage. And I think that results in a really fun performance.
This kind of takes my next question away a little bit, but even to put it to you, Chris, to say, like, there is something maybe to navigating your own relationship in real life versus navigating a whole other relationship on stage. How do you approach that as a couple?
Well, I mean, I guess, speaking for both of us, I guess, like, I think, we tend to approach acting, or at least for me, I approach acting as you're playing something, like whatever is happening on stage, it isn't actually you, you're playing a character. And so I think, like Esther was saying, like, I mean, she's just a great scene partner, and I think that the trust that we have with each other in our real life, makes playing even the scenes where perhaps we are not so loving towards each other in the show, you know, it makes it easy to play that. Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
We didn't cast Chris and Esther just because they're a real married couple in real life. That helped certainly, because we had a very truncated rehearsal process, and so we were like, well, this is great, they can practice together at home. But we had worked with Chris in our last production over in the fall of Treasure Island, and he was our Captain Smollett. He was absolutely fantastic, and so we were like, okay, we have to use this guy again. And Esther was a bit of a wild card for us, but we knew that she had lots of training. We knew that she had lots of credits, and so we were like, okay, well, let's give these guys a two-hander, which is play with two people. Are basically there. We also do have a third as well. Eve Rossmore is playing our maid, and she is just fantastic. But we figured, let's give it to these guys. And oh my goodness, being in rehearsal with them, both of them are such amazing performers. They can hold their own on stage, but the chemistry that they have together too, when they are doing things together as Charles and Carrie, and they carry it together, it's so fantastic. So not only are they delightful, charming people in real life, but their performances are just gonna have people howling. Like, they're so funny.
So maybe this sort of conversation about being married in real life and on stage is something I can turn to you here, Laura, as well. They're talking about this very trusting relationship that they have on stage. What is it like to approach directing people who are already in a relationship into an on-stage relationship?
Oh, it's great. Can I tell them what I shouted at you while we were filming the trailer?
I don't remember what it was, but yeah. Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. So the basis of great acting, great scene acting with other partners is trust. And that is so incredibly important. If you don't trust the people that you're on stage with, you're not going to get a good performance. The delightful thing about having a real life married couple playing a real life married couple on stage is that they can do real life married couple things. So like all of the kisses on stage, they're not stage kisses, they're real kisses, which is lovely. And there is a point this isn't a spoiler because it's in our trailer that we used for our ads, but Charles and Carrie are dancing together at a ball, and Charles is quite drunk, and he reaches over and like pinches her bum, and he did that once while we were filming the trailer. I was like, oh, that's perfect, and then I shouted from behind the camera, do the bum thing again.
Things that you can very easily get away with an actual married couple doing the acting. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Esther,
It was
absolutely. Esther, maybe I can put it to you this way to ask, what do you think that an audience takes away from seeing a real life married couple portraying a couple on stage that maybe they wouldn't get if they were seeing just two actors playing in a scene together?
Well, I think like Laura was saying, this has been commented on before, is like Chris and I have pretty great onstage chemistry, and I think that's such an intangible thing, because you can cast two excellent actors together and they might not have that chemistry. But sure. I think, again, because of being married for, oh my gosh, it'll be 6 years this fall, that just because of that, you know, we've built up that chemistry in our real life, and I think that really sparkles, and that just brings something a little bit different. Like, you know, excellent actors can do excellent work, but I think, yeah, bringing our relationship into the show, you know, we are actors, so again, like Chris was saying, we are playing Charles and Carrie, but because we have that shorthand with each other, I think that helps. And especially, anything can happen in live theater. You can forget a line, like things can go wrong. And I think because we're used to like troubleshooting those everyday problems in our own life, I'm fully confident that inevitably when those little things will pop up during the run, we have each other's backs in a different kind of way.
You talk about the things that you're bringing into this relationship as a married couple, but Chris, what will you and Esther take out of this production into your marriage after the show has dropped its curtain?
Good question. I mean, I think it's. I don't think it's a normal thing. Like it's to be able to act in like I mean, what is essentially a two-hander. I mean, we have most of the lines together with someone that you're married to. Like that's not an everyday sort of opportunity. And I think that, I mean, in the same way that it, like, we're kind of bringing in that trust. It's honestly, it's just a great experience to get to put on a show together,
Yeah.
So I feel like we'll take away, some more some more levels of trust in terms of that we are able to handle a whole show together. Yeah.
Absolutely. This show features a lot of dry, sort of very British Downton Abbey-esque humor, I understand. Laura, how do you think that this sort of wryness, this wry quality to Mr. and Mrs. Nobody will resonate with audiences in southern Manitoba?
Oh, I think they'll love it. I know that there are so many people out here who just love their British TV, Are You Being Served, Downton Abbey, shows like that where I know so many people who are like, I love that kind of thing. And so I think that they'll just love it. And for audiences who maybe don't usually gravitate towards like the British humor, you will have the best time in the world if you come into the show to laugh at ridiculous people saying and doing utterly ridiculous things, but just acting like it's normal. Like it really is a show with two clowns in it. And they're not like clowns, and they're not, they don't have the ostentatious, big, flamboyant, trappings of clowns, but they are clowns. They're absolutely ridiculous, and they act like that's normal. And I feel like maybe we all know people like that in our own lives. We chuckle that along as we watch with the Pooters. But no, I really do think that audiences are just gonna love the show. And it's one of those things too, because we're a new company. Like this is our very first year doing professional shows out here. Not a lot of people have heard about us yet. And it's gonna be one of those things where people are gonna be like, wait, that was happening? I wish I could have gone to that. So make sure you're not one of those people, everybody. Just to the thing, and you're the Looking Glass Theater OG audience.